judge deserved due process and suggesting the FBI may be using the case to send a political message. Crowds gathered outside the federal courthouse in Milwaukee in protest this afternoon. Demonstrators held signs reading "Hands off our judges," calling the arrest an assault on judicial independence. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has escalated his scrutiny of Democratic fundraising operations, issuing a presidential memorandum that calls for an investigation into alleged foreign contributions and questionable donations through online platforms, accusations that remain unverified. Yesterday, Trump directed the Attorney General to examine claims that online fundraising tools are being used to funnel illegal straw donations and foreign funds into U.S. political campaigns, actions that would violate federal law. The announcement appears to take direct aim at ActBlue, a major digital fundraising platform widely used by Democratic candidates and causes. Anticipating such a move, ActBlue's president and CEO, Regina Wallace-Jones, addressed supporters earlier this week, warning of a likely executive order and the chilling effect it could have on political engagement. "There is a coordinated effort to sow doubt in our democratic system," she wrote in an email. "This is just another iteration of the big lie. But nothing will stop us from empowering millions to participate in democracy." Trump's directive is part of a broader strategy that critics say is designed to hinder Democratic campaign infrastructure. According to the New York Times, this memo follows a pattern of partisan policy decisions intended to weaken the left's ability to fundraise and organize ahead of future elections. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, claims about ActBlue's alleged vulnerabilities have circulated widely in conservative circles. Elon Musk has repeatedly criticized the platform online, at one point suggesting something stinks about ActBlue. In his memo, Trump said ActBlue detected at least 22 significant fraud campaigns in recent years, about half of which originated abroad. He also noted that in a 30-day period in the 2020 election, the platform detected 237 donations from foreign IP addresses using prepaid cards. The president left out the fact that ActBlue took actions in response to those detections. It caught and rejected fraudulent donations and banned contributions made from foreign IP addresses using domestic prepaid cards. The GOP has its own online fundraising platform called WinRed, which faces many of the same fraud vulnerabilities as ActBlue. In a separate inquiry, House Administration Committee Chair Brian Steele requested documents related to ActBlue's donor screening processes. He noted that the platform had since revised its policies to block certain types of donations, such as those made with gift cards, which could be harder to trace. The intensified focus on ActBlue comes as Democrats gear up for upcoming elections and try to rebuild state-level strength. On the same day as Trump's memo, the Democratic National Committee revealed a new plan to bolster local party infrastructure through recurring financial support, prioritizing additional resources for traditionally Republican-leaning states. On Wednesday, Trump signed an executive order that would further weaken civil rights protections and make it more difficult for plaintiffs to prevail in discrimination cases in areas such as education, housing, healthcare, and public benefits. The order instructs federal agencies to stop enforcing laws and regulations based on disparate impact, a legal theory that identifies policies with discriminatory effects, even if they appear neutral. It also directs the Attorney General to revise or repeal any Title VI racial non-discrimination regulations that rely on this theory, and calls on agencies to review and possibly withdraw from ongoing cases or settlements involving disparate impact claims. The executive order is the latest in a series of attacks on civil rights by the Trump administration, which has increasingly weaponized anti-discrimination protections against the very people the laws were written to protect. The White House has repeatedly used civil rights laws to target diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts and transgender rights. On the same day that Trump signed the executive order challenging disparate impact liability, he signed an additional executive order that threatened the accreditation of universities that refused to capitulate to his racist, ableist, and transphobic policies. His regime also upended the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division, which is tasked with enforcing anti-discrimination laws. In less than 100 days, the Trump regime has taken an axe to the very foundations of American democracy. His is a government ruled not by and for the people, but by and for one deeply flawed and unhappy, cruel man. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.